Lately I've been doing a lot of things with pallets, cutting them apart and reusing them, repurposing them. This pallet I'm going to make a floating shelf with. I need a small floating shelf. This one is just about perfect. I need 4 inches by 11, so I'll cut it at 11 inches square right there. It's just about 3/4 inch by 4 1/4, which is perfect. A wood dowel, 3/8. That's all you need. Pick up at your general hardware store. And those are what's going to make my floating shelf. So I need 11 inches by 4. This is 4 1/4. So I'm just going to measure 11. Doesn't have to be precise, but this is the best part of the pallet wood. And now I'll cut. So now I'm going to take this piece of wood cut from a pallet, repurposed. I'm going to sand it down, clean it up, and then I'll drill a couple of 3/8 inch holes right here and here to insert the dowel, just like this. And then once the holes are done, I'll cut the wood and it'll sit on there and the dowel will act as a pin to hold the shelf. Okay. So now that I got my piece of wood cleaned up, no sharp edges, I am going to drill the holes for the dowel. And what I did was I already pre-marked my drill at 3 1/4 inches, 3.5 deep. So 3.5 deep will land about right there, and my dowels will go through on the top. The hardest part about this, what I'm doing now, is actually drilling the hole straight down without puncturing the wood with the drill. And the wood's kind of bowed, so we'll see how it comes out. Hopefully I won't penetrate outside and everything will be good. I'm going to bring each dowel in about 2.5 inches from the end. So that's where my dowels will be sitting. The most critical thing about this is not coming through the wood, trying to drill it straight through. Now I need to make a straight cut across here now that my holes are drilled all the way through 3 1/4 inches. So I'm gonna cut 1 1/4 inches all the way across this board. So now that I've cut this off, you can see the holes there, also holes in the back. It doesn't really matter because what's going to happen is it's going to line up perfect to that cut. You'll have a little bit of line, but it's no big deal, and it's in the back. And these holes are already aligned with the ones on the other side. So now when we put our dowels through, they'll line up straight up in there like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to countersink some screws here and here. That way we can screw this piece into the wall with the dowels glued in like that. And then screw that into the wall, and then we'll be able to slide this right on top of here. So I'm using these wall anchors, drywall anchors. I love them because they hold an incredible amount of weight, and at the same time they're real easy to use. You just mark your hole and screw them right into the wall. This is the original hardware, this here, but because I'm having to go 1.5 inches through the wood and then into the actual anchor, I'm using a 2.5 inch screw. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink it. So I'll countersink the wood here where I'm drilling, drill a hole through, and then this 2.5 inch screw should be just big enough for me to use into that anchor. So it'll fit perfect. Also, what I did was I rounded off the edges of these dowels, the tips, and then I kind of sanded down the edge to hone it down at a little angle so that when I actually put them into the wood here, it'll be real nice, snug fit. Now I'm going to make the hole a little bit bigger so that the actual screw that I'm going to use won't actually be digging into the wood. Just like that. Okay. And into the wall. Okay, now we're going to glue the dowel pins in. And just clean off the excess glue here. These will go and slide in here, come together. But before I do that, I'm going to actually find where I'm putting this on the wall, mark it, screw these into the wall, and then I'll use these screws in through here, which will countersink in into the wall, and then we'll be able to slide this right over. And at that point you can do one of two things. You can come back and you can actually screw holes, small pilot holes here and here through the wood into the dowel pin and put a small screw so you don't have to worry about it shifting or moving. I'm just using this for a router underneath my computer, so I don't really need all that. I just need something to suspend it off the floor. Okay, it's time to separate these and install them. The paint seems dry, but just so I don't scar up the wood or anything, I'm using a rag, just a piece of rag, a pair of channel locks. Put the rag over to get a good grip. Pull them apart. You can see it didn't damage it. Looks good. Now I'll just unscrew this off of my piece of scrap wood. Remove my tape. And now I'm ready for install. So now I'm backing out the screws. And I'm going to just leave the tips of them in. Now I came up here and I had pre-checked it to make it level and square, and it was. What I found out was behind my drywall here is a piece of plywood, so I don't need those drywall anchors. Instead, I'll be able to screw them straight into the plywood behind the drywall. Still got a little gap back there. Gonna close it up. Okay, now that that's on there, it's nice and straight, level. All I gotta do is slide this over those dowels holes, line them up and slide it in.